Hello, I'm Ivan Springborg Poulsen. I listen to Dark World podcast.
It's only another action-packed episode of your Darts World Weekly Podcast. And what have we got for you today? Well, we've got all the action from the Lithuania Open weekend and the Cypriot Open weekend, plus all the action from the MODUS Super Series and everything going on the Open Road. So let the Morecombe and Wise of Darts World lead you to it. It's Harry and AJ.
Hello and welcome to this episode of your Darts World Weekly Podcast. I'm AJ Ernston-Toft.
My name is Harry Masterson.
And we've got to apologise for the technical difficulties we are having at this moment in time. Harry's camera seems to have gave up the ghost and is not working for us tonight.
Don't worry, I'll try and get it fixed as quickly as possible, guys. It's just a slight technical problem on my side, but hopefully by the time we record the next episode, it should all be fixed.
And don't forget, you've got plenty of pictures to be taken and videos to be taken in your lovely, lovely Liverpool shirt.
Yeah, it didn't even last a minute before you mentioned that, did it?
No, but can you blame me? Can you blame me? You know, this has been 16 weeks in the making and it's culminating in what's going to be a fantastic day on Thursday, not just because of Harry wearing a Liverpool shirt, but it is the Premier League finals.
Yes, obviously very much looking forward to finals night. Obviously the forfeit is a bit of a sickening blow to it, but in terms of everything else, like the action should be amazing. I genuinely cannot wait, and from the four players that are taking part in the finals night, it's pretty much anyone's game. I couldn't pick. I think it's the right four players as well, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we go into more detail on our Premier League show, and here is a snippet of the Predictor League and a Brucey bonus.
So, there we are, Harry. The shirt is on the way to you as we speak.
Right, that's it. We've got to make this interesting, and I feel that a double or nothing is due here.
What do you mean, double or nothing?
I mean, there's still another week in this Premier League. There's a playoffs next week, and
Right.
I feel that we should have one more prediction for the playoffs. Obviously, I'm still going to wear the shirt next week, but it's double or nothing, as I said. So I don't.
Double or nothing. So what's the double?
The double is if I win, then you have to wear the Liverpool shirt in Blackpool when we go to the match play. And if I lose, then I wear the Liverpool shirt next week at the Premier League finals night, and then I wear it again in Blackpool. So I've got to wear it twice.
Let's bloody do this.
At the end of the day, I'm still wearing the shirt, but I feel that the audience should hopefully get to see you wear it as well.
Ain't happening.
Let's see.
Right, here we go.
My predictions have been rubbish in this whole campaign anyway, so I might be, but you've got to back yourself.
Cue the music. Here we go. Brucey bonus time. Predictor League special. Semi-finals. Luke Littler versus Michael Smith. Harry, who have you got and why?
Okay, so obviously this is now a best of 19 contest instead of a first of 6, as all the other weeks have been before.
Big boy darts.
Yeah, it's the playoffs. It's now big boy darts, as you say, and in a big boy arena as well at the O2. So it's going to be going to be exciting, and I'm going to go with the bully boy to win this first semi-final. I know Luke Littler is the league leader, but I think maybe this semi-final between the pair this week might be an indicator of what's going to happen next week in London. And I'm going to go with Michael Smith to reach the final. I'm going to go with him to win 10-8.
So just by the odd leg.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be close. It will be close, but I think Michael Smith might edge this one.
Right, so I'm going to go with Luke Littler for the win. I think over the longer distance, Luke Littler will be able to have one of his surges and would eat away at the Michael Smith throw leg by leg by leg. I think it's going to be 10-6 to Luke Littler.
The thing is, I think Michael Smith's the one player in the Premier League that I actually think has had one of them. I think he's probably had the least amount of trouble against Luke Littler in comparison to the other players. I feel like there's been a few wins in this campaign where Michael Smith has got the better of Luke Littler, but I will say this: I don't think these results are anything to take too much off, because obviously the ballback is to 6 that they've been playing before, and obviously and this is going to be a first to 10, so, and there will be a break in the game as well.
Yes, that is true. That is true. It's not straight through as it was. Which moves us on to semi-final number 2, which is MVG versus Luke Humphries. My time to go first, and as being a massive Star Wars fan, I'm going to go double Luke.
What do you think the score's going to be?
This one's going to be tighter. I think this will be 10-8 to Luke Humphries.
I agree with you. I actually think whoever wins this semi-final is going to win the whole thing. That's my. I've sort of given it away there of who I'm going to predict in the final, but I think the winner of this semi-final wins the whole thing, because both these two players are phenomenal. They've had fantastic campaigns. Both players won 4 nights this year. Obviously, Luke Littler did as well. I'm going to go with Luke.
May the force be with you. Yeah.
May the force be with you. Sticking with the Star Wars theme, and obviously the 2 Lukes for you in the final. I think one Luke is going to get to the final. I'm going to go with Humphries to beat Van Gerwen. If it went the other way, I wouldn't be surprised at all, because Van Gerwen on playoff night is just a different kettle of fish. He always turns up on the playoff nights. But I'm going to go with the world champion, because, like you said, with Luke Littler in the long distance, I think Luke Humphries will be even harder to beat now with the longer format, because I don't think it's easy in terms of trying to break his throw. And as we saw at the World Championships against Joe Cullen, he can produce these 12 dart legs to break the throw, and over the longer format, if he gets 4 or 5 legs ahead, it's going to be difficult for anyone to catch him up. But as you said, I think this is going to be a close game as well, because Van Gerwen is certainly going to be up for it, and I'm going to go with Luke Humphries to win 10-7.
Right, and so by our estimations, it's going to be Luke Humphries in the final, but then we've got different outcomes. So let's just, instead of scores, let's just keep it simple. Who do you think is going to win overall?
Well, at the start of the tournament, I said Luke Humphries to win the Premier League, and I'm not going to back down from what I said at the start. I think I said Luke Humphries at the start of the World Championships, he won it, and he's played himself into form in this Premier League. He had them 3 night wins in a row, which was the start of his journey in terms of trying to get into the top 4. He made it into the top 4. I think over these last few weeks, he's all but secured his spot in the O2. It's just been that case of just waiting for it to happen, and now he's in the O2. I don't see him messing it up, and I'm going to go with Luke Humphries to win the whole Premier League.
And on that coin flip, I'm going to go with the other Luke. I'm going with Luke Littler winning the Premier League on debut, being the youngest ever champion. ... There are our picks for the Brucey bonus, double or nothing, winner takes all, Grand Slam, thank you ma'am, Predictor League.
It's been a long old Predictor League. Obviously gutted to lose the first one, but I'm hoping that this second chance I don't lose out, and AJ will be wearing that Liverpool shirt too.
Not on your Nelly.
So there we are. Hopefully a fantastic evening in that there, London, for me being there, and that all-important double or nothing heading towards Blackpool. But we want your feedback, guys. Who do you think's going to be winning? Do you think Harry's going to win, or myself? Who do you think's going to win the actual Premier League itself? For me, it's the tale of two Lukes, and you've got to be having a good look at that to find out who you think's going to be winning. But why don't you drop us an email or a message on our socials? So that is the PDC, as there wasn't much on over the weekend. But to make up for it, there was plenty of WDF action. So a very busy weekend for the WDF darts. First of all, dropped into Lithuania for the Lithuania and Kaunas Open. And it was a really good weekend of darts, it looks like.
Absolutely. Plenty of competitions going on over the weekend in Lithuania and in Cyprus. We'll start with the Lithuania Open, and in the men's singles draw, it was Matthew Dickinson that won the title. He won a last leg decider against Ralphs Laumanis of Latvia, but consolation for Ralph was that he ended up winning the boys title, so a final in the men's event and a boys title for him. So fantastic weekends.
Nothing in youth darts, is there really?
Well, Luke Littler might have something to say about that.
Honestly, I mean, the young talent that are coming through, and it's not just the PDC or the ADC, it's every three-letter acronym you can think of, and Ralph's has proven that.
Absolutely. It's just another indicator as well that the JDC is one of the places to be. Look at the darts that they produce in all their foundation tours, the advanced tour as well. It just shows that the youngsters have now got their platform, and obviously we're now seeing it. Obviously, we see Luke Littler and we see the likes of Gian Van Veen as well in the main development tour. But of course, as you say, it happens everywhere, and Ralph's is another example of that.
Absolutely. And moving on to the ladies, Greta Takawa had a double, winning both in the Lithuania and the Kaunas Opens. So again, fantastic weekend for her.
You obviously look a fantastic weekend for Greta Takawa of Hungary. And you look at the averages from the ladies singles in the Lithuania Open, and her performance in the final is pretty much an anomaly in comparison to all the other averages of the tournament. A 75.11, but a fantastic performance and a fitting performance for the final as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's just not the only doubles in the ladies. Obviously, Ralph's had double in the boys, and then Amanda Kielova in the girls getting the double on both Lithuania Open and Kaunas Open.
And we move on now to the Kaunas Open men's singles, and it was Darius Labanauskis that claimed victory in that event, and obviously he's due to feature in the MODUS Super Series Champions Week this week, playing himself some fantastic form. He had a 99.85 average in a 4-3 win in the quarterfinals against Cliff Pryor, and then went on and whitewashed Massimo Alfieri in the final with a 72.96 average. Fantastic performance from Darius, and obviously a nice little confidence booster for him ahead of challenging for £25,000 in Portsmouth this week.
Yeah, I mean, what a perfect setup for your Champions Week finals. It's the best way to do it, by winning a great tournament, and we wish him all the best at MODUS.
And moving on to the ladies singles draw, and we've already mentioned Greta Takawa, and she's done the double. She's won both the Lithuania Open and the Kaunas Open. She beat Marika Sarapik 5-2 in the final, and I think we can say that Greta's had a fantastic weekend on the WDF circuit.
Yes, definitely. And that's just not the only action that was happening in terms of the WDF. We also had events in Cyprus, where the Cyprus Classic was won by Eric van Manen, and the ladies was Evangelina Vidali.
And a special mention to Thomas Youngens as well. We've obviously seen him play at the Lakeside a few times, the Switzerland International, and one performance I'm seeing here, he had a 4-1 win over Konstantinos Dimitriou in the last 16, 4-1 win and 104.2 on average. So definitely a performance, a standout performance in that competition.
Absolutely. I've known Thomas for many years, playing in the Swiss Open a few times, and yeah, he's one of them rock steady players, and he's proving very much so on the Challenge Tour, and he's played in various. He's been on TV with the Lakeside already, but I think that transition to the PDC is really really close to being on the Pro Tour.
Absolutely, we could definitely a shout for maybe next year's European Q School.
Definitely. And moving on to the Masters, the Cyprus Masters. I just make this name because it's been very peculiar names coming out recently. But for the men's, it was Bradley Kirk. Bradley Kirk won the men's event. And having played him in the Romania Open earlier this year, I can vouch that he is in some splendid form.
Yes, a fantastic performance from Bradley Kirk, a 5-3 win in the final over another familiar name. I think this guy's played at the Alexandra Palace a numerous amount of times. It's John Michael that he beat in the final.
Yes,
and again,
the
Thomas
Deadly
Youngins
Rose.
reaching this, and then you've also got Thomas Youngins reaching the semi-finals again. So all in all, some players definitely playing themselves into form over the weekends. 4 events in Cyprus, 4 events between Lithuania and Kaunas. And the Cyprus Masters women event was won by Anna Hlavova of Czech Republic.
Yeah, I mean, at this moment, it's a bit of a quiet time for the PDC apart from the Premier League. But going into June, it is all hands on deck every weekend. And I think weekday, there's pretty much something going on in terms of the PDC, especially the Challenge Tour event. And these players who are going to be going into the Challenge Tour are finding some really good form to go into it.
Absolutely. And you know the rewards that you can get from the Challenge Tour as well. Obviously, the top 2 on the Challenge Tour, they get their tour cards. They'll also get a spot at the Ali Pali. So it's definitely the opportunities that they do give are there. And obviously, if you play yourself into the top form, you can give yourself that more exposure on the telly.
Absolutely. So there we have a lot of action there from the WDF, but we turn our attentions to the MODUS Super Series. And the final place for Champions Week was secured Al Shazam by Crabtree.
What a performance from Crabtree. And I looked at his stats from his finals night, and he had 2 averages of 101.9, one in the final, and then he had another performance against Andy Bolton earlier in the night, both 4-0 wins. But the final player, as you mentioned, confirmed now into Champions Week. We're 2 days into it as we record this, and all I can say is that it's very close.
Yeah, there's nothing between like the bottom and top. I think there's only 2 points covering the lot of them in terms of the differences. And there's been some exceptional games throughout. I mean, Bo Greaves and Bradley Brooks throwing in some absolute haymakers during the day. But yeah, as we've predicted, I think from week 5 that this was potentially the best Champions Week of the lot.
And there's still more players to enter into Champions Week. We've already mentioned Darius Labanowskis, and he's played himself in some fantastic form in the WDF. We've also got Neil Duff. I think he won an event over the weekend in Northern Ireland on the ADC. So he's also playing himself into some form ahead of that. And moving back onto last week, Cam Crabtree was the winner, of course. And we always talk every week about the potential of a player from the winner of Group A going on to win the whole night, and it was very close that run was about to end. Ron Moulenkamp was the player that finished top last week, and he came so close but lost in the final.
Yes, close but no cigar, unfortunately. But as we said, a highlight reel for all the players involved last week, and we're only into day 2 of Champions Week, and by jingo, there's some highlights to talk about.
I think one of the biggest highlights was Bradley Brooks missing double 18 for a 9 darts. We all remember the 9 darter that was hit against him at the World Championships, but he nearly made his own history in Champions Week.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But we'll have to see how that gets along. So there we have it for the MODUS Super Series, but we've got a big weekend coming up in April. So the ADC Winmau Tour and obviously women's tours continue this weekend with events 5 to 8 there in Middlesbrough, and it is looking to be as hotly contested as the previous weekend.
Another £6,000 on the line this weekend in the women's amateur darts circuit for Championship Tour competitions, as well as the Winmau Championship Tours themselves. £1,000 to the winner of the Winmau Championship Tour winners, £500 to the winners of the women's amateur darts circuit Championship Tour winners. And as things stand, it's Vicky Prum and Gary Stone that lead the way.
Yes, both Vicky Prum having an absolutely amazing weekend, and then Gary Stone doubling up on the Sunday, went undefeated all day, if memory serves me correct. But in that top 10, you've got the likes of Dave Prinz, you've got Neil Duff, you've got Bradley Brooks, and then you've got some surprising names. James Welding, who's Gary Welding's son, and Kevin Lane of the Isle of Man.
Exactly. So many opportunities this weekend. And I remember James Welding, he reached the final of event 3 where he lost to Gary Stone in his perfect Sunday campaign. But again, all the opportunity, there's more opportunities to play for this weekend. Of course, there's going to be chances again for these players that didn't get a win in the opening weekend. And I'm sure it's going to be a fantastic weekend of action.
Yes, and moving on to the women's, as we said, Vicky Prum at top there. But again, you've got a good mix of well-known names and people who might not be well as known, but are definitely good players. You've got Fallon Sharrock in 3rd. You've got Dita Hedman in 4th. Lorraine Hyde of Scotland in 5th. You've got Samantha Curtin, who was recently successful in the Tri-Nations events with England. And then you've got Kim Holden of Liverpool, and you've got Eleanor Cairns, the girls' world champion, at 8th, and not forgetting Angela Kirkwood, who's currently at 2nd. And there's not a lot in it points wise, only 4 points between 1 and 2.
Yeah, obviously looking at the opening weekend of the women's amateur darts circuit championship tours, you've got I think we had 4 different winners from the opening 4 events, so hence why it's a bit more open. Vicky Prum, some Angela Kirkwood, Dita Hedman and Fallon Sharrock all winning, but again, the top 8 on the Women's Championship Tour, as well as the Winmau Championship Tour as well, will go to the MODUS Super Series at the end of all the competitions. And there'll be more money on the line, and you get a chance to play on YouTube.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity. I mean, it's obviously we all know how good the MODUS Super Series is and how it's bringing all these talents. But I think now it's a great opportunity for the women players to be on that stage, and this could be the start of something very special indeed between the ADC and the guys at MODUS.
We're seeing the links with the ADC and the vault competitions in terms of getting a place on the MODUS Super Series stage, whereas this time around, and they also did this for the Winmau Open Series last year, they gave the winners of the competitions a spot on the MODUS, whereas this year, instead, it's obviously going to be the £1,000 to the winner of each tournament, and then they get to go to the MODUS Super Series and play at the end of the year.
Yeah, an amazing opportunity for all involved. So in terms of news, that's pretty much everything at the moment. As we said, there's loads of action going on all over the world, and we try and cover as much as we can. So, as we said earlier in the programme, we've got the MODUS Super Series Champions Week hotting up as we speak. But Harry got a chance of interviewing one of its players.
Exactly, I did indeed. And he hasn't entered Champions Week yet, but he will be due to start his campaign on Thursday. He's in Group C. It is, in fact, Bradley Roos. He was the player that won Week 3 of Champions Week. And here is a short little clip of my interview with him.
My goal for the upcoming 14 tournaments is to just to win one development tour, because last year I reached twice the final, and I lost them both against Luke Littler and Chion van Veen. But just to get more money for on the development tour ranking, and hopefully to be a seeded player again on the Youth World Championship at the end of the year. So but my main goal is to win a development tour this year.
Mention the MODUS Super Series. Many congratulations again on your win there. You will be appearing in Champions Week. What did it feel for you to get your first ever win at the Live Lounge?
Finally, after 2 times before I lost the final, finally won it on my third attempt. So I'm really happy about that. So I feel really comfortable on that stage. I really like the setup of the venue. It's all quiet with all the cameras. I actually like to play in front of the cameras. So and it's all quiet. Always when I play there, I was always with really nice guys. So that's also important of being a dart player, to have just fun outside darts. So I'm really happy that I finally won a week at the MODUS Super Series.
So an interesting interview there with Bradley Roos, and you can get that exclusively on our sister program, Let's Talk Darts, again on your Darts World YouTube channel. So an interesting interview there with Bradley Roos, and you can get that exclusively on our sister program, Let's Talk Darts, again on your Darts World YouTube channel. So speaking of darts, let's see what darts is being played on the open road. So speaking of darts, let's see what darts is being played on the open road. So speaking of darts, let's see what darts is being played on the open road. So speaking of darts, let's see what darts is being played on the open road. So as we previously said, we have got a fantastic weekend of darts already with the ADC Windmill Tour. But if you cannot get there, don't worry, guys. We've got you covered. We have got... So as we previously said, we have got a fantastic weekend of darts already with the ADC Windmill Tour. But if you cannot get there, don't worry, guys. We've got you covered. We have got... So as we previously said, we have got a fantastic weekend of darts already with the ADC. Other events going round. We have got the Cuckoo 32, and that is at the Cuckoo in Stoke, ST3 3LD. Doors open at 11, final registration 12:30, and it is £10 entry, and it is all on Darts Atlas. Other events going round. We have got the Cuckoo 32, and that is at the Cuckoo in Stoke, ST3 3LD. Doors open at 11. Also on your Darts Atlas affiliated with the ADC, you have got the Gamble of Preston Grand Slam of Darts. This is on the Sunday, that's May the 26th, and that is at the Gamble in Preston, where Dave Evans is the proprietor. It should be a good day of darts there, with £11 entry and multiple games for your £11. Also and there is a brand new event on the East Coast where it is £10 per player, and registration is done again via Darts Atlas, and it is open to everyone. The format is best of 7 up to and including quarterfinals. Your semi-finals is best of 9, and your final is best of 11. Register by 12:30 for a 1 p.m. start, and that is at the 180 Lounge, and that is at 3 Cliff Street in Bridlington. So another great event there up north. If you do have an event that you want us to promote, please do not hesitate. Send us an email at editor@dartsworld.com, or you can hit us up on our socials on Facebook or X. If you do have an event that you want us to promote, please do not hesitate. Send us an email at editor@dartsworld.com, or you can hit us up on our socials on Facebook or X. If you do have an event that you want us, and please don't forget, you've also got your HNCF Open. That is July the 6th. And that is at the Higher Earlham Social Club in Greater Manchester. Again, registration done via Darts Atlas. It is £10 per entry, with £2.50 of that entry fee going direct to the charity. Also on that day, we will have raffles and name cards, and we're trying to raise as much money as possible for a tremendous cause. So if you are in the area, please don't hesitate, get involved.
Sounds like a fantastic event, and obviously, guys, get yourself down to that one in particular.
So, as was a short and sweet episode for everyone involved, but we have got a big week of darts coming up. As we said, you've got the Premier League finals at the O2, you've got the ADC Windmill Tours up in Middlesbrough, and then, as you've heard, a whole host of events coming your way, or you go into them. If you are playing in any of them events, we wish you all the very best of luck, and may the darts be with you.
And of course, AJ is going to be at the O2 Arena on Thursday, and he's going to finally know what it feels like to lose in the Predictor League.
Not on your Nelly, Harry, am I wearing that shirt. But we have got some amazing plans ahead of this year, and you never know what's coming round the corner.
Well, hopefully I can get at least some consolation from this Predictor League, because after what, I'm still not over what happened on Thursday.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. But that is game, shot and match for your episode this week. I am AJ Ernston Toft.
And I'm Harry Masterson.
And we will both see you next week in the next round.
Absolutely. See you later, guys.